Why are some people more successful than others? Is it luck or is it talent, or are there certain principles that make people more successful than others? Are there certain principles that allow you to control your success? My view is that success is not random, rather it's predictable. And today in this video, I want to share with you the 11 principles that have helped me to stay focused, avoid distractions, and achieve my goals with maximum clarity. Let's go. Hello and welcome to another video by MCO. My name is Ben, I'm the founder of MCO Global, and here on this channel we normally talk about price charts, we normally talk about Elliott wave analysis and related things. On our other channels we talk about rapid market updates, but today I want to do something a little bit different. It's going to be an unscripted video, totally unscripted. I haven't really prepared much. I have, however, written down sort of the things that I want to say just roughly. It's just some bullet points that I will use here so I don't forget anything. It's going to be a casual video. As I said, on this channel I will try a few new things, and it would be great if you let me know if that is kind of the stuff that interests you as well. I mean, overall, I think it is a very important topic. If you don't know it yet, MCO is not only about providing market updates and so on. No, we've got a set of values that we've also communicated in our members area to our members. One of these core values is actually empowerment. And therefore today, I think that fits quite well, the whole topic or the whole concept of empowerment. Today I want to share with you, 11 principles that have helped me become successful, achieve my goals, and that I still live by. So they are the things that I've learned along the way, things that you can read in books, but things I've picked up along the way. Personal experience. I want to enrich this with some personal stories. So as I said, if this is something that interests you, that you like me to add topics like these from time to time, it's of course not going to be the main part of this channel, but from time to time, why not? Let me know in the comments. Then and if you don't, and you rate this video down, then I know that this is not the content you like. But yeah, let's talk about the concept of empowerment. I mean, it is written down in our values. I'm just going to read it out, what is written down in our MCO core value list. Only focusing now on empowerment. I mean, we've got 5 values overall, central business values. But under empowerment, what do we want to achieve at MCO? We empower our clients, community members, and team members to grow, learn, and take initiative by providing resources, opportunities, and a space where ideas are valued. We enable impactful decisions and meaningful progress for all. And that's something that is very, very important for me, because a lot of analysis providers, a lot of analysis businesses try to make you dependent on them. They don't help you to become successful. They might provide a service, but they want you to stay subscribed. Now, don't get me wrong. I also like if you stay subscribed to MCO, but it's more about the whole concept is different. I see MCO more as a network, and that people actually want to be part of, right? They love the values, they love the community spirit, the vibe, and so on. So I like to think of MCO more like a network, like an international global network that is growing, and in a few years time it will be completely different. I believe, I know it will be completely different. So let's talk about these 11 principles. Now you might ask, okay, what kind of success has he achieved? Let me tell you briefly about that before we talk about the principles. So I mean, I've created a business, I've created MCO, which has become one of the main providers of Elliott wave internationally. And it is, you find it on social media everywhere pretty much. A lot of people are copying now our analysis. MCO has grown into a team, into a network. So we've got a community with more than 5,000 members worldwide. We've got an English-speaking one, we've got a German one, we're building a Spanish-speaking one. Eventually the plan is to grow this much further. And MCO is a team, so obviously it started as a one-person business. But anyway, it's grown into a team. Just this year, 2 new team members have become part of MCO. So it's growing, it's a business, I see it more as a network, but it's very successful. And I feel so privileged that you like to hear about the content, you like to hear about the analysis, and that you actually appreciate what we do as a team, as MCO. Now, the team members, I don't think they are ready to come in front of the camera yet. Maybe at some point some of them might do, but that's totally fine. It's okay. Everything at its time, and they don't have to. They don't want to, of course. Now that's one thing. Then over the years, I mean, I've really always achieved my goals. I've always achieved my goals. Whatever I wanted to to do in life. I've actually reached it. I'm now looking back and I'm realizing that I didn't set my goals high enough early enough. So maybe that's something that you can already take away from this video. I mean, I've always worked for what I wanted to achieve, but I've always achieved my goals. So I mean, I've got a family. I'm very happy with my personal life, family, children. We live in a nice place. We're all healthy. I mean, that is success in its own. I mean, I'm obviously running a successful business, a very growing business, which even grew in the bear market, in the crypto bear market, where a lot of other, you could say even creator channels, just simple creators channels failed. I managed to quit my previous role in a company where I was managing more than 100 people. So I've achieved everything I wanted to achieve in a corporate environment. Also, that came down to certain success principles I have while worked on my Doctor of Business Administration. So it's not a PhD, it's a DBA, which is kind of the same level, but more practice oriented. So I couldn't have done that without following a certain set of principles. And now I'm completely free. I can work from where I want. I've built a business, it will grow further. I know that in 5 years it will be completely different. But I know I have a vision. I know where it's going and nothing's going to stop it. So I feel there is something that I can share with you. And a lot of the community members have actually asked me for some ideas, tips about mindset, things that I do. How is it possible that he's always there? Does he not sleep? How is it all possible? So let me share a few things with you. So the first point is having clear goals. And it is so simple, but believe me, a lot of people don't have goals. And you might think you have goals, but if you haven't written them down, and if you're not tracking them regularly, and that's not only related to trading, I mean, essentially, this is a channel about market analysis and trading, but it applies to all areas of life, really, and that's what this video is about. So if you haven't got your goals written down, then you need to do this. And if you're wondering why you're not successful or why you're not achieving what you want to achieve, then maybe it's because you haven't written down your goals. Because believe me, when they are written down, it's got a completely different status to just thinking about them regularly. So yeah, you need to have a vision, and you can have a small book to write them down, or a notebook, or you just write them down on Excel, on your laptop, on your PC, but have them somewhere, ideally where you can see them on a daily basis. Again, I've been doing that for 15 years, and I believe it has strongly contributed to where I am right now. If you don't even have them, if you haven't got them written down, you will just go nowhere, essentially. And you don't need to have everything planned out. So I don't believe in having everything planned out. I'm very much a fan of staying in the present, knowing where I want to go, but roughly knowing how to get there. But the exact detailed step will make themselves known along the way. So the next point is, don't get distracted by others. So you want to have your goals, you want to focus on your path, you want to get there, and you shouldn't really get distracted by others. So what I realize every day, there are people who, a lot of positive, appreciative comments on YouTube, but I do get emails, I do get comments occasionally, not very often, about people criticizing. Okay, well, see, if it's not constructive criticism, then I don't even engage with it. If there is constructive criticism, I take from it what might be valuable, and then that's it. But I will never get distracted from my path, right? So that could apply to whatever you're doing as well. If you have certain goals, but people try to disempower you, people try to tell you what you shouldn't do, and so on. So I think everybody should focus on themselves and just do what you think is right, and just don't get distracted. Just focus on your path. And see, if you start doubting your path just because someone on the sidelines is trying to shake your confidence, then you need to work on your mindset. Now, the next point is you need to focus on what you can control. See, it applies to trading, but it applies to other areas of life as well. You don't want to spend all your mental energy on certain things that you cannot control. You don't want to waste time thinking about what might be tomorrow or in 2 days or in 3 days. You don't want to worry about anything really that you can't control personally. So I don't know, politics, or it could be anything. People watch the news all day and then they are kind of getting involved with all the negativity and they start to worry, and then they talk to others about it and they get into this spiral of negativity. So it is really, really dangerous. I mean, I'm not even reading the news at all. I mean, yeah, finance news to the degree that it applies to crypto, to the stock market, to the degree that it applies to my business. But I will not really I will not really focus and I won't get worried about it. So it is very important. You need to invest your energy in the things that you can influence. Okay, if you only have a certain amount of energy, and if you get distracted or you worry about things, that can suck up all your energy. So it's all about having that laser focus. And for me personally, that means every single day that I live in the now, I live in the present, and I really only focus on what's directly in front of me. Okay, of course I think about other things, but I don't worry about them. Because I can't control them unless I really focus on them right now. And it is really about in trading as well, because a lot of you are interested in trading, investing. When you're trading any asset, any chart, you cannot control where the market is going. But you can control your entry, you can control your exit. That's really what you can control. You can control your risk by measuring your position size and where your stop sits. That's all you can do. And then you don't need to worry about where the market is going. What a lot of traders are doing, they sit in front of the charts all day and they worry about what the price is doing. Whereas you could go away and do so many other things at the same time, like watching our videos, for example, right? No, I'm just joking, but it's about focusing just on what you can control. Very, very important. So I think another big thing is to take responsibility for everything that you do and not blame others for anything. I've never blamed other people. I mean, that's kind of been in my DNA. There are people who like to blame others. There are others who just don't do it naturally. And I've never really done that. But of course, you sometimes have that tendency. But overall, I've always taken responsibility for everything I've done. I have had to work for everything. So I can genuinely be proud of what I've built because I didn't get anything. Nobody gave anything to me, right? I've really worked for everything I've done. I've worked for my driving license. You know, a lot of people get that sponsored by their parents. I didn't. Not because I had bad parents. No, it's more like it was just, you know, kind of that mindset. And it was always clear that I had to work for what I wanted to achieve. So I've always worked. I've worked in parallel to school. I've then studied. I've still worked in parallel. I've worked full-time, wrote my doctoral thesis. I've always done more than most other people did, so I could achieve more. So, but it's not necessary that I tell you have to work all the time. Again, that's a personal decision. It is more about take responsibility. So I always wanted to take responsibility for anything. So the thing is, if you don't take responsibility, and that's very important, if you don't take responsibility, then you might wait for things to happen that make you happy. And this is very dangerous. If you don't take responsibility for your own life, your own success, and you always try to live in the future because you wait just for the right circumstance, you might wait for that pay raise so that you can afford your next holiday. Dangerous thinking. You wait for someone else to make you happy, yeah, or you wait for someone else to have an impact on your life. This is really, really dangerous. And if you live like that, and I would say that most people do, stop doing it. You can control everything, right? Of course, you can't make people do something, but you always have a decision. So you always have a decision. But what you shouldn't do, because it disempowers you, you shouldn't give away your power, right? So if you want to achieve something, but you wait for someone else to deliver it to you, then this is potentially dangerous and it will hold you back. You will waste time and it might never come. And it will keep you in that cycle of negativity, and at some point you get very depressed. So something else I've learned is that I have to make decisions very fast. I mean, this is probably one of the most recent things I've learned. I've sometimes struggled to make decisions, but what I've really learned, especially now where I have to make rapid decisions every single day, and that comes down to market analysis, making financial decisions, but it could also be something related to MCO. I don't have time. So I have to make a decision, and I get so many proposals. I mean, people call me, people send me emails with proposals, and if something doesn't feel right, I mean, it's a no, right? If I've learned that if something doesn't feel like a big yes straight away, and if I have to be convinced, I either ignore or I say no. I'm a strong believer that everything will reveal itself at the time it needs to happen. Like this channel here, MCO, it wasn't the right time half a year ago, even though I thought about it. No, it's the right time now. And it feels really, really good, right? So it's now the time. I felt I needed to do it. So it was always there on my roadmap. It was a goal I had. But as I said, you don't need to plan everything. I don't say I want to create this channel tomorrow or next week if it doesn't feel right. And so it's all about making decisions fast. Because if you don't make decisions, you will at some point have all those things that build up and you don't know where to start. So if it's not a strong yes, it's a no. And then you can focus again on the things directly in front of you. So it's all about avoiding to overanalyze, and that's what we see in financial markets as well. When we look at a price chart, we don't want to overanalyze it. We want to make a quick decision. If a price chart isn't great, just to bring it back to trading and investing and analyzing, then why worry about it? I mean, it's about that mindset in trading and investing, that the market has to convince me, or a chart has to convince me to take that trade. If I'm not convinced, why would I take a trade? Just because I fell in love with that token? Dangerous thinking, right? Okay, next point is about, physical movement, mental clarity. I mean, if I don't do anything physical during the day, I realize in the evening that my mind is just not that clear, and I really struggle to be very productive. So it's about having some kind of physical activity, that balance between actual work, sitting down, doing the analysis. And I mean, think about it. I probably work sometimes 14 to 15 hours, and I might do that for 7 days a week. And you might say that's crazy, and maybe to some is. I can tell you, I've never been that happy in my life ever before. And I've never been so calm and relaxed at any point before in my life. I've never been someone who's easily stressed, but you work in corporate, you know how it is, and then you get all these issues, and then you have to be there at a certain point in time. You deal with people that make life difficult for you, that create stress, and so on. Now, I mean, I love this work. And if you're interested in this kind of content, in kind of behind the scenes content, then let me know in the comments. And if you like, we can in one of the next videos talk about my routine and why I work so much, or why I do what I do, and is this actually stressful, and is this potentially unhealthy, things like that. So let me know in the comments. But overall, it's about having a physical activity. So what I do, I've got 2 dogs. I walk the dogs every day, probably 1.5 hours. I'm just doing the walk with the dogs. I don't need to go to the gym. I mean, I've been there, done that in the past, right? I don't need to flex muscles or anything. Maybe at some point, if I enjoy it again, I will do that. But again, I've got my physical exercise through the dogs. I don't need to do it twice. Other people go running. That's fine as well. I mean, whatever works for you. But I just feel you need to have some kind of physical activity. And I realize if I don't have that, it definitely negatively impacts the clarity and actually the work that I'm doing. And you could enrich that further with some other exercises, maybe even meditation, to get some further clarity, mental balance as well. When we're looking at things every single day, we're looking at so much information, it can make sense to have that routine where you just sit down for half an hour at the end of the day or in the morning to get your mind completely empty and just focus on essentially nothing. So that's very peaceful as well. That helps with staying calm, and that could be something else. Maybe not for everybody, but I can tell you that it's been a game changer for me as well. The next point is about having the right mindset. And I mean, what is the right mindset? I don't want to talk too much about it. I mean, this would really deserve its own video, talking about affirmations and visualization and creating things. But it's all about having that right mindset. I mean, I've never been someone that thought that I wouldn't deserve something. You get a lot of people actually, and I realized that along my way and along my journey, that a lot of people think they don't deserve things. So they kind of subconsciously hold themselves back. Now, luckily, I never had that issue. But I mean, also for myself, affirmations have helped me along my journey for being grateful. I always think it's important. It's so important to be grateful for things. So whatever you've achieved, be grateful for it. If you don't feel grateful for something, you probably won't get more of it. So I feel you need to be grateful for things. At least in my experience, it's helped me a lot to attract more things into my life. And again, that comes down to the law of attraction. If you want me to talk about that in another video, let me know in the comments as well. I'm just not sure how much those topics are of interest for you. As I said, we will experiment with a lot of different content on this channel. But law of attraction, or being grateful for things, that attracts things into your life. Whereas if you feel that you don't deserve things and you feel that money is bad, and there are more people out there than you think who have those subconscious beliefs, then it can be dangerous. So you need to, for your success, so you need to have that right mindset. You can reprogram your mind through affirmations, through statements that you tell yourself every single day, through meditation as well. There are many ways how to do that, but it's about having that right success mindset, that I deserve things and that I'm grateful for the things that I have. That is very important. You need to feel grateful, but you shouldn't necessarily be happy with what you have. That's a difference, right? You can be grateful for something, but if you're fully happy that you have everything, then you probably won't strive to achieve your goals that you actually have set for yourself. For some people, that's okay. At some point, you might say, well, I'm completely okay, and then all power to you. And then you're fully happy and you found peace, and that's great. But yeah, next point is to use competition and criticism as fuel. Now, to be fair, I don't really get a lot of criticism, and I'm extremely, extremely grateful for that. I appreciate it. I get a lot of, so MCO gets a lot of positive comments, feedback, and this community has created something great. I mean, this is not only my achievement, it is the achievement of the team and the achievement of the entire community. I mean, just on this channel, we're now moving towards 10,000 subscribers, and the comments, I'm blown away. I mean, I don't see these types of comments and discussions in the comment section of the videos on other channels, like not on my other channels that I've built before. It's just a different type of content. So I'm really blown away, and I very much appreciate all your support. There is very, very little criticism. If there is any disrespectful stuff, I just delete it or ban it straight away anyway. So these people will never appear again. But it's more about having constructive criticism. Well, a lot of people can't take criticism. So that's potentially dangerous as well. I always take criticism on board, at least what's valuable, and I use it as fuel. A lot of people worry about it. So I think it's important to understand it as what it is. It's just something that can help you improve. Take it as a sign that you could still be even better, right? You're already good, but you could still be even better. Same with competition. I mean, I don't even worry about competition, but if competitors do something that is great, then I use this again as a sign that I need to be even better. I don't worry about it. I don't get negative about it. I don't hate my competition. No, it's about great. Look, they've all power to them. But I see this as just more fuel for what I do, because I've got my goals and I know nothing's going to stop me. So something else that surely made MCO successful and helped me along my journey is the concept of giving value before you take anything. I mean, when I started MCO on YouTube a few years ago, nobody knew me, right? Nobody knew MCO, nobody knew More Crypto Online. So it was all about giving value. I had to be there, I had to give value, and it all came back, but amplified. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have built, I'm not even sure, maybe even the biggest Elliott Wave channel on YouTube. Elliott Wave only, certainly Elliott Wave crypto only. I don't think there's another larger Elliott Wave only crypto channel. I might be wrong, but it is one of the largest anyway. So that all happened because I gave value. If you can give something with value for free, it will come back. It's a law. It will typically happen, and if you do it the right way. Now, this is something I learned. I remember before I built my first business, I went to a business seminar, and I remember the speaker spoke about the concept of giving. You have to give value, and only that will bring all the success to you. And this is something that I've lived by since then, and it's true. And a lot of people live differently. A lot of people want to take first. They think they are entitled to something. They try to convince people to do something, to get something. It's normally not how it works. Then you have to very much force it, and it's very often not sustainable. So whenever you think about, if you ever think about building your own business, or maybe you have one, then this is a concept that has really helped me along my journey. So always ask, how can I create value? I mean, I always ask that myself every single day, and then the rewards will come naturally. Something else which is very important, and it relates to financial success as well, it is living below your means. So you have to be smart with money. I haven't always been smart with money, and I have not always lived below my means. I mean, luckily it always worked out, but I remember in my early 20s, I mean, I bought cars that I probably shouldn't have bought. I even bought a house at the time, which, well, it was a stretch at the time, right? I mean, I earned good money. I was an engineer at the time. I always managed people, so I had usually manager roles in businesses. If you live above your means, whatever, even it doesn't matter how much money. I mean, I know a lot of people who earn a lot of money, but they are actually poor because they just have that need to have that big car, and they have to flex, and they have to do this and that, and it's all about the status symbols. And I mean, I've never really done that so much, but obviously, a nice car, I obviously come from Germany. You want to have a nice car and everything, and I'm not doing that anymore, but it's funny because I realize now, having done that kind of to a certain degree in the past, obviously I see now when people do that, so it's quite interesting. But it's not good for your financial, let's say, success or financial health. Because how can you save anything every single month, which you need to do to be long-term successful if you live above your means? And the thing is, most people don't buy stuff that is really valuable. So if you spend your money on a big TV screen, I mean, in the worst case, you watch negative news every single day, which sort of doubles the negative effect. So it takes away your money, and then you get all that negativity thrown at you every single day. Or you have a car which is expensive and essentially loses value, right? I mean, there are things that gain in value, like maybe old timers, or I don't know, there are things, right? But most of the things that people buy are not assets, so they lose value over time. And if you do that and you live above your means, you will not have money to save. And you need to save, because if you don't save, I mean, I'm of an age, I know I will not get any state pension, or it will be pretty much worthless. So I have to save money every single month. I have to save money so that me and my family can live at some point from those savings, right? You have to. So that is why you have to live below your means. And it's dangerous to always try to, that's the problem, that people, when they get a pay increase, they always buy more. But these days, not so much anymore, because when people get a pay raise these days, it's eaten up by inflation, unfortunately. But it's something very, very important. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is to stay in the present moment. Yeah, accept reality as it is. This was a game changer for me, and also probably one of the last things I've really adopted. It's that concept of staying in the now, not worrying about tomorrow, and you get to an inner peace, which is incredible. So, as I said, I've never in life been so happy, probably, with where I am right now, because I live in the present. You know, I've got goals, right? I've got goals, but I'm not necessarily emotionally too attached to them. So the problem is, if you have goals and you are negative, or you are, let's say, if you have goals and you, I don't know, you worry about them all day, or you worry about not having something that you want to have, you live in lack. And if you live in lack, it will just take much longer to get it. Instead, it's important to live in the now and be grateful about things. And just be happy with what you have. And if you are grateful, things will come to you naturally. Of course, you need to know where you want to go, but don't be too emotionally attached to your goals, right? That's maybe another topic for a certain video. But this concept is very powerful because it is so helpful in all areas of life. It's helpful for, when you get, I don't know, it's anything, because people always think about tomorrow or yesterday, right? Or the past. So most things people worry about come from either the future or the past. People don't worry about the present, right? Because the present is just what it is. It is here now, and you just have to accept it anyway. So if you learn to accept the present moment, then you learn to accept the price chart as it is. So you react to it without any emotional attachment. So whereas if you live in the future, then you want the price chart to do something when you're trading it. And if the price chart doesn't do what you want, you get very negative about it. You might make the wrong decisions. You might make emotional decisions. If you want to get rich quick, well, that's because you live in the future. So again, you make emotional decisions. So you live in the future. That's a very, very dangerous and something that is really, really harmful. So if you learn how to live in the present, then you can act out of, from clarity, from a perspective of clarity. And you also don't worry about criticism, because you get criticism and you just take it for what it is and it goes away. And it's great. It's very powerful. And this is something that is very helpful for your mental health. Not only that, but it also helps you to just do everything with a laser focus, because you don't worry about the things, right? So again, it comes down to focusing on what you can control. So yeah, I mean, for me, this is sort of just a collection of things that I do, that I live by, that have helped me along my journey. I'm incredibly grateful for what I achieve. I mean, this community is just great. I strongly believe it's one of the greatest communities, if not the greatest community out there in the finance space. It is incredibly positive, appreciative, helpful, and it will just grow further, and it will just become even better. And and again, how could I build it? By adhering to these principles. And there might be more. I mean, this is just a collection of 11 things that helped me. I mean, this is just a collection of 11 things that have helped me, that might also help you. If you find content like that valuable, where I just sort of talk a little bit about behind the scenes things and how I do things. So if you're interested in hearing more about this kind of stuff, then let me know in the comments. And yeah, thank you if you made it to the end of the video. I appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe for more content and let me know in the comments what you think about this content. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.